Now, heavy gunfire echoed in Gaza's Khan Yunis in a video released by the Palestine Red Crescent Society, which said the images were taken around the Al Amal hospital. Gaza health authorities said 26,900 Palestinians had been killed, including 150 over the past 24 hours, in the war that was triggered after Hamas fighters stormed into Israeli towns on October 7, killing 1,200 and taking 253 hostages. In the latest fighting, Israel bombarded parts of the city of Khan Yunis in southern Gaza and districts of Gaza City in the north. Well, for the very latest, I'm joined from Tel Aviv by Ariza special correspondent Karl Bostic. Karl, good to see you, and thanks as always. Well, the latest development coming from Washington somehow looks a little bit confusing for some. On one hand, is Biden saying they would retaliate. On another, it looks very much like this is not the best time for us to go in and make worse an already bad situation. Karl?
Well, to be honest, there's a lot of pressure on President Biden right now, and when he says he's made up his mind, what this reflects is the complexity of the situation here in Israel, Gaza, or the Middle East. Very, very simply put, they want, the U.S. says they want to avoid a wider war. So does Iran. Also, reports coming out of Iraq. That's where the militia group most likely responsible for this attack, that's called the Khatib, Hezbollah, they said they would suspend their operations. This is an Iranian proxy. It's the main militia group in Iraq, out of an umbrella group in Iraq called the Islamic Resistance in Iraq. Later in the day today, two other militia groups in Iraq said they were suspending their operations. So to try to put things very, while neither Iran nor U.S. want a wider war, there's no way Joe Biden can avoid a response for some very, very basic reasons. After 4 months of war, nearly, after 160 attacks on U.S. Bases in Iraq and Syria, incidences followed by retaliatory strikes by the U.S., the deterrence has not worked. And what happened on Sunday was a red line because for the first time, you had U.S. soldiers killed. A lot of outrage in Washington where basically, Republican critics, this has a lot of political appeal for Republicans because it's an election year, saying for him not to respond harshly would show that he's a coward. That's why what's now being suggested is this. Expect not just one single strike, expect instead what John Kirby, the spokesman out of the White House, is saying will be a tiered response. By that, he's suggesting, over a several days, not only just Iranian proxies, which exist in Iraq, Syria, also Yemen, but really the threat, what really worries Iran is if they will go after Iran directly on its soil in Iran, which has not been done before. And what they're targeting, they're looking at those places where the drones are produced, manufactured, where they're stored, even the suppliers outside of Iran. So all of that could happen in a matter of days. So that's what we're watching for right now. But also keep in mind this is what's at stake. This is what's at risk. That's why this is really like walking on eggshells. This is really a region that's really on edge. Because if they do launch an attack on Iranian soil, that's a red line for Tehran. At the same time, though, they don't want a war because they have an economy that's in free fall. And what they're saying is that if it did land on Iranian soil, you risk an all-out war with Hezbollah on Israel's northern border. You risk a raising of tensions surrounding Israel with Syria and Lebanon. Also, you also risk, most importantly for now, in the short term, killing or further delaying a possible hostage deal, a possible ceasefire. It further delayed. The hostage deal is even more and more impacted. So it's a deadly thing.
Well, Karl, before I let you go, let's see if we can bring it quickly to the United States. Do you think Biden's action or inaction relating to this attack on the U.S. troops could sway voters in the coming elections?
Important point, very simply put, is this. They're saying that after 4 months, after 160 incidents against U.S. military installations, and despite dozens of retaliatory strikes, that has not worked. That deterrence has not worked. And they're saying that to deter Iran or its proxies, from staging these attacks, that could hamper its electability. That's why all eyes are watching for a very decisive response that could even, if even some are saying that you must hit them on Iranian soil, but that could send it to a wider conflict and make it even deadlier, which no one wants. So that those are the pressures right there. But here in Israel, where I am, actually, a raising of escalations would actually play into the favor of Netanyahu's government, who really, many factions don't even want to see a ceasefire. They really want to see the war prosecuted until Hamas is dismantled and well, quite frankly, destroyed.
Well, Karl Bostic, many thanks as always. Karl Bostic, our special correspondent live in Tel Aviv, giving us an update on developments there.